Miami, Florida, city of light for the golden anniversary game of the Orange Bowl, and the weather in South Florida is just right for this most important college football game. #1 Nebraska with a 12-0 record under Coach Tom Osborne, needing one more victory for the national title, goes against a much smaller but a very physical, tough University of Miami team under Howard Schnellenberger that has won 10 straight games. And now with the upset today of Texas, Miami is in the hunt for the national championship. Schnellenberger and his Miami Hurricanes geared and ready. They've not played in 7 weeks. They've been off since their last game November 12th, but they're on the home field. And in 5 years under Schnellenberger at the Orange Bowl, the Miami Hurricanes have won 24 games and lost 2. They're the underdog according to the odds makers, but they don't think so. An optimistic and prepared team ready to take on one of the great teams in college football history, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Don Criqui with John Brody. Nebraska getting here with a perfect 12-0 mark. The Huskers started fast, blew out Penn State at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands, and on they roll, averaging 52 points a game. They've scored more points this season than any team in NCAA history. Miami knocked out at Florida early in the season, and then the Miami Hurricanes started to roll. 10 consecutive victories. One big and one when they had to come from behind, but they won.
It looked to me like Nebraska's, when they posted those scores, looked like the end of a basketball season.
They score like a basketball team, the Huskers, averaging 52 points a game. Miami has won the toss, but the Hurricanes want to establish their defense against Nebraska's great offense, and Miami has elected to kick off. Jeff Daverson, he's not big, but he can kick it deep. Ready to hit the ball now for the Hurricanes, and there are 2 great players. Irving Fryar is back deep, ready to take the kickoff, and back with him is Mike Rozier, 6 yards deep in the end zone, and he is counseled not to bring it out. And so the Huskers go on offense, 1st and 10 at their 20. And there's the whip cracker, the man who makes the Huskers go, quarterback Turner Gill. The fullback, big and very quick Mark Shalene, the Heisman Trophy winner Mike Rozier, averaging almost 8 yards a carry. Irving Fryar's another great threat at the wingback position. Ricky Simmons, they don't go to him often, but he can catch the ball and he blocks. And Engebretson, the tight end, is a blocker primarily. So we're ready to go. Nebraska, 1st and 10 from the Huskers 20. They're going to put it up. Turner Gill throws, and he's got his wing back. Irving Fryar didn't get much. He was hit at about the 24-yard line as Coach Osborne now sends in the play. Ken Siska, linebacker, knocked him down. Mark Benning, one of the Nebraska tackles, 300 pounds. Henry Grimminger, the other offensive guard. Next to him, Mike Tranowitz is the center, and a good one. Dean Steinkühler, probably the best. Lombardi and Outland winner. Scott Raridan, he's over 300 pounds at right tackle. They got Biggins on the bookends, John.
Don, you can slide all the stats you want about that offensive line, but I'll tell you another one. They average 9 letters per last name right across the line. That means they've got a lot of long names and a lot of big fellas. 270-pound average. And they move people around.
Well, those jerseys are broad enough to carry a lot of letters. And now it's going to be 2nd down and 5 for Nebraska. Opening series of downs. The option, Turner Gill, a pitch back to Rozier, and he's open. Rozier is an open field. And finally, Reggie Sutton knocks him down as Mike Rozier almost breaks at the distance. Good for a 27-yard gain and a 1st down for the Huskers.
Don, to talk about what kind of a feat that is, and we may see a bit more of that today, the Hurricanes have allowed only 1 running back all year long to gain over 20 yards. That was a 28-yarder. This is the 2nd longest run against this defense all year long by the Heisman Trophy winner. I guess it figures.
And right now, Nebraska breaks the front of the Miami Hurricanes and goes back to Rozier. And again, the power run. And look at Rozier rip it open all the way down to the 30. A free football, though they're going to rule he's down. The officiating crew from the Southeast Conference, an 18-yard gain on that carry by Mike Rozier. Danny Brown knocked him down as the huge Nebraska front just overpowering Miami these last 2 plays.
Well, the coaches were a little concerned. They're not going to blitz, I don't think, as much as they normally would because they want a lot of pursuit. They don't want their linebackers out of position, but Rozier has run right through their position.
1st and 10, Nebraska. Free football. A free ball at the 30-yard line, but Cornhusker looks like Scott Rare and Dean Steinkühler came up with the ball, so they keep it. Danny Brown's a defensive end. They're small, more like outside linebackers. Kevin Fagan, a good pass rusher at 265 pounds. Key player for Miami is the middle guard, Tony Fitzpatrick. And Fred Robinson, not heavy, but very, very fast. Julio Cortez, outside on the left side. Jay Brophy gained All-America mention as a linebacker, and Ken Siska is the leading tackler for Miami. First back through is Shaleen, and Brophy is waiting for him. Short gain, it'll be 3rd and long. And a penalty marker's down. Reggie Sutton, one corner. They're very hard-hitting, quick corners. Eddie Williams plays free safety. Kenny Calhoun, he'll blitz a lot, and Rod Bellinger's played a great year as the strong corner, comes out on the same side as the tight end.
That's a play we've seen an awful lot of this year, Don. It's one of those both teams have a little personal grudge against one another. Cornerback and wide receiver get after it. They do throw a penalty to tell them to cool down, but no harm, no foul.
Offsetting penalties. And so it'll be 3rd down and 8 again, and they'll go from the 28-yard line. Nebraska looking for a national championship. They've not had one since 1971, and Tom Osborne's had great teams, but never has gone the distance.
Let's see if that stat stays up.
3rd and 8 Huskers. No score in the first quarter. Turner Gill all day long fires, and he has a man that's broken up. He was going to one of his wideouts, Scott Kimball, but Rod Bellinger was there to break it up. So now an interesting dilemma for Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. 4th down and 8 coming up. They've only tried 4 field goals all year. And the punter doesn't play in a lot of games.
That's the area where you can see the packed Orange Bowl. This is the area where they take 4 downs to get their first. This is an exception. They feel they have a kicker can kick it 44 yards.
Scott Livingston's the man who will try it. The 45-yard attempt. Turner Gill, the quarterback, will hold. It is down. It's blocked. Miami has the football. So the Miami Hurricanes have this place in absolute pandemonium. They've captured this town. And the Orange Bowl, early as it is in jubilation over a blocked field goal.
The special teams knew they had to come up with some kind of a big play to get something happening early in the ball game. They did that. Remember, this team has kicked only 4 field goals all season. That's the least in modern football history. They made a big play against a weak group.
Bernie Kosar, a 6'5" freshman quarterback, directing the Miami offense, but he plays like a veteran. And he comes out of firing. Wide open is Stanley Shakespeare. He's down to the 34-yard line.
When you take a look, when you're talking about Bernie Kosar, you're talking about a fellow that's quite rare indeed. Now he's got his man down the field. He's in a perfect position. Got to throw it over the top of 2 linebackers. Throws it to Stanley Shakespeare. Picks up a first down. The first play of the evening's a big one.
Real big one. The Miami Hurricanes come out of firing, and now they have the ball inside the 35-yard line of Nebraska. 1st and 10. Second back throw is Keith Griffin. Archie's little brother takes it inside the 25-yard line, and he has a first down for Miami. The Miami Hurricanes, the underdog by 2 touchdowns, driving on their first possession. Now have it 1st and 10, 23-yard line of Nebraska. Kosar with a quick drop. Guns the ball. Shakespeare's open. He's down to the 2-yard line. Kosar firing strikes. 22 yards and a 1st and goal.
Don, he fired a strike to it. This is an alternate receiver. He's trying to go to the right side, the short side. He's got 3 receivers open on that side. Finally, he finds Stanley Shakespeare in a one-on-one situation with Neil Harris. Throws it right in between the 2 defenders, down to the 1.5-yard line. I've heard how fine this man throws the ball. He's shown it early.
He has really shown it early, and now they're down at the 2-yard line. First and goal, Miami. Looking for the first points of the game. Bentley runs, and he didn't get there. The big front line of Nebraska, led by middle guard Mike Tranmer, number 64, threw him back. Osborne knew that Miami'd come out throwing, and they came out throwing strikes. Kosar with 2 big hits to Stanley Shakespeare. It's second and goal.
And it's good logic. You don't go up there and try and establish that you can't do something against a team like Nebraska. They know where their ace of spades is. It's in number 20. Let him get after it. He's had 6 weeks to prepare for this team, and he started fast.
Second down and goal, Miami. No score, first quarter. Albert Bentley. A big play by Nebraska, Ken Graber.
Don, this is Mark Trestman and Howard Schnellenberger. Mark sends the plays in. This is his first year as a full-time assistant. He has his law degree. He was a graduate at the University of Minnesota. He works with the quarterbacks, and his statement about number 20 is that I've never seen a man with as much awareness as Bernie has. He's going to need it all right here, 3rd and 3.
Watch for the tight end to the right, Glenn Dennison. Kosar takes a look. He throws to Dennison. Touchdown, Miami. Glenn Dennison was indeed the man as he makes his 55th reception of this season. And Coach Schnellenberger and the Hurricanes have something to celebrate early in this game.
But you don't see Howard doing any celebrating. He knows it's a long 3-hour struggle. He's been in a lot of big games before. Don't let people think fool you and get you the feeling that this is his first big game. He coached with Bear Bryant. He coached with Don Shula in a lot of championship games. He's been there before. This is the first time he's had the controls, however.
And right now, the place kicker comes out. Jeff Davis, ready to try the point after. Glenn Dennison, who caught the touchdown pass. A new dad. Wife gave birth to a little boy last week. And right now, we're going to have a pause. Timeout on the field. 9 minutes and 18 seconds to play first quarter, and here's the touchdown throw again.
All right, you see Dennison, he's a 225-pound, 6'4" tight end that the people think can play professional football. Now, Kosar has helped him a lot throughout the year, but he's supposed to have very nifty feet, real strong hands. When you get down in a situation like this, Kosar had a very small area in which to put the ball, but he did so.
Glenn Dennison, he graded up, trained up, John, from 212 pounds at the last game November 12th to 230 came in tonight. Teammates told him he was eating for 2 instead of his wife.
Yeah, but he didn't lose much speed, and that's why the coaches felt it was all right.
And here's the extra point by Jeff Davis. It's good. And so the Miami Hurricanes get the ball for the first time and take it down the field on the right arm of freshman Bernie Kosar. Finally on the payoff end, it's Kosar to his tight end Glenn Dennison.
The Huskers were unable to score on their next possession and punted before reaching midfield. Miami used the arm of Bernie Kosar and the running of Alonzo Highsmith to set up a successful field goal by Jeff Davis. So with Miami leading Nebraska 10-0, we pick up the action late in the first quarter.
4:03 to play first quarter, and the clock runs. Miami 10, Nebraska nothing. Hits back, Rozier. Tremendous play. Jack Fernandez, senior linebacker number 51, makes the play behind the line of scrimmage.
It's necessary to string this play out. They keep all their people in good position so that when he does cut back, they've got some people to pick it up. This time he never gets his play started. Jack Fernandez, a reserve linebacker who is playing quite a bit of late, makes a fine play.
Now Turner Gill stops on 2nd and 11. He throws a strike, and the ball is caught downfield. Monty Engebretson, the tight end, takes it inside the 40-yard line, a gain of 15 yards. And Nebraska has a first down. They don't throw to Monty often, as you see. Says, when they do, I appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you, one day they did throw it to him 3 times when they played Penn State. on national television in the opening game. So in the rest 11, he only caught 4 balls. He's primarily a blocker and a fine one, but can catch it.
He's from Hastings, Nebraska, hometown of his coach, Tom Osborne. Now the Huskers starting to move and trailing 10-0. The give is to the first back through, Shalene, the fullback. Big at 225 and very fast at 4.5 speed for the 40. He's ahead for 3.
Don, we talked about Tony Fitzpatrick, how important it is for him to get penetration. This time he throws Trainowitz away. When he does so, he gets some contact on the ball carrier before he gets to the line. And look at number 54, Jay Brophy, sitting right there at the line of scrimmage to pick up the runner.
Out second down and 8, Nebraska. Swing pass, Rozier. And a tremendous play by freshman Reggie Sutton. Rod Bellinger, number 4, comes up, makes the hit. And that's the 3rd big hit by Bellinger at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd down now. They're going to spot the ball actually at about the 41-yard line.
Well, I've been told that Bellinger was an excellent hitter, but I didn't know he reacted as fast as he has. He's handled Rozier on 2 plays of that type, keeping him from making any yards at all. That's the way to play.
Tough down now for the Huskers. 3rd and 11. Turner Gill on the rollout. He's got the strong arm and he lets it rip. It's intercepted. Jack Fernandez. Kevin Fagan put the rush on number 95, and Jack Fernandez, a 211-pound linebacker, comes down with an interception, and Miami has the ball again.
Don't have to wait much, Don, to get in the way of balls like he just did. Excellent reaction. Again, it's a 3rd down and 9. How many times have the Hurricanes put the Huskers in this position? When they do, they've pretty well rest assured they're going to throw. They've got their linebackers in a deep zone coverage. Fernandez comes down with the intercept.
And as we pointed out earlier, John, Turner Gill throws very few, less than 3% interceptions. Albert Bentley runs the ball, and Albert Bentley takes it to midfield, ripping off a gain of some 16 yards. The crowd is a Miami crowd predominantly, and they've got something to cheer tonight, at least this early.
Well, the important thing is that they knew that Miami had to get off to a fast start, and they did that with defensive outstanding plays. They stopped them. They made them throw the ball on 3rd down and longer than 6 yards to go. That is not what Nebraska likes to do, and when they did get it, they knew what to do with it.
So now yet another first down for Miami, just short of midfield. Bernie Kosar with a deep drop. Eddie Brown, he might go the distance. Look at that move, and Eddie Brown's hitting in. Touchdown Miami, but there's a penalty marker down.
And he also did not get in, I do not believe. I think he was stopped about the 1-yard line. He stepped out of bounds, but I don't know if they saw that.
It's coming back.
But it's coming all the way back.
A part of the way back. Stanley Shakespeare called for an illegal block.
Make a lot of difference as to whether it's going to the 1-yard line or the 20 as far as the excellence of the play is concerned. This ball is well thrown. I tell you, Kosar at 6 foot and over 4 inches tall, stands up, gets good vision, but hangs in there, takes his time, has as much poise as any quarterback I've seen in college, and he is only a freshman.
Even with the penalty, it was good for another Miami first down. On the 32, pitch back. Alonzo Highsmith working on down. He's inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. A remarkable showing early in this game. The Miami Hurricanes, who waited for this chance, a rebuilding program the last 5 years, and they've played inspirational football since the opening kickoff. They've scored on their 2 earlier possessions. They wanted to kick off, and they did, to show they could stop Nebraska. Huskers drove and had a field goal blocked, and Miami and Kosar took over, driving down and going in for a touchdown and a throw. Kosar to tight end Dennison. Last possession, a 45-yard field goal. And And now Miami has it second and short. And Kosar's looking. He's got a man open. Chris Hip.
I've seen a lot of freshmen in my time, but I've never seen one that had as much poise as number 20 has. It looked like it was just another day at the plant. He goes back there, puts the big smile out, and says, well, isn't this sweet? Let's get the ball back, and we'll do it again.
He's hit two now to his tight end, Glenn Dennison, in the end zone. Penalty marker's down. Extra point was through, but there's a penalty marker. And it's against the Huskers, so the extra point goes. And the shot now is it with 1:08 left to play. It's a 17-0 Miami game.
Again, you can't say enough about the offensive line because everything is predicated upon how much time do I get to throw the ball. We have to be able to get our patterns run down the field. Dennison gets down the field. There's really nobody back there. It's a too deep zone. Until he gets to the end zone, nobody makes contact.
Another look now from ground level as Bernie Kosar looking things over, and there's Dennison, a great sure-handed receiver from Joe Namath's hometown. Dennison's from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, and he's in for his second touchdown of the game. It is 17-0 Miami. The new dad, Glenn Dennison.
Again, the Huskers were unsuccessful in their drive and punted just minutes after Miami's touchdown. But they intercepted a Bernie Kosar pass just 2 plays later on 2nd down and 10. And as we return, it's Nebraska's ball with 10:32 left to play in the half.
Miami leading 17-0. Second quarter. Irving Fryer. Got some. Down to about the 20. Gain of maybe 4 yards on the play. Reggie Sutton, the freshman corner, knocked him down.
Don, what you have when you don't have a lot of blitzes. This is Jack Fernandez, fellow that came in for Ken Sisk. Brophy was fooled a little bit, but Fernandez is so fast on the ball that he gets out in pursuit. Now remember, when the running back cuts back, and that's Irving Fryer, a certain #1 draft choice, they've got 5 Hurricanes around him.
Fryer's something. He's out in the right flank. He's run the 40-yard sprint under 4.3 at 200 pounds. Rozier doesn't get much, though. He tries to go behind a great right side. Lombardi and Outland Trophy winner Dean Steinkuhler and Scott Reardon, about 300 pounds of football player, but he only gets a yard.
And you can bet right now they have that old familiar option play. They are 3rd down and 5. I doubt that you'll see them go for a field goal at this time. I think they'll take 2 downs and run it. We've seen them throw the ball in this position 3 times earlier tonight. They were not successful. You'll see some sort of runner.
Big down. 3rd and a long 5. Heading to the end zone, and very close to it was Dean Steinkuhler. He's in for a touchdown. I was totally fooled. The best technicians in the world were. Dean Steinkuhler on a trick play goes into the end zone for a Nebraska touchdown. Now we're going to see how it happened, because I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, it's one of those guards around. Every good team has one, but you never figure to throw it. Watch Turner Gill come out. Dean Steinkuhler, number 71. He hands it to old Dean. The ball, he didn't hold it. He left it right on the ground. The only way you can give it to a lineman is you got to fumble it. He cannot take it and hand it to him. So what he did is he got it from the center and left it on the ground. Everybody pulled. Everybody read their keys perfectly, and Steinkuhler slipped right into the end zone. That's a playground play that you never hardly see, but when you do, it's usually effective. I didn't expect a 275-pound offensive guard. You talk about flexibility. Watch it. Now the ball goes right on the ground. Right on the ground. Steinkuhler picks it up.
He just left it there.
You can't tell me that that's not a planned play, but he has to fumble it. He can't pick it up and leave it there.
They've even got a name for it, John. The Nebraska people say it's the Fumble-Rooski, and it worked. Nebraska's on the board.
Nebraska regained possession just moments after scoring their touchdown. And as we return to the game, they're facing 3rd down and 6 on the Miami 47-yard line.
3rd down and 6, Nebraska. Great throw by Turner Gill to Irving Fryer. And Fryer gets the ball down to the 25-yard line. One coach said when Irving Fryer lines up, it's like pointing a loaded gun at a defense. He can do it all. Catch it, run it. That's for 25 yards.
Yeah, I tell you, you can especially do it all when they don't have anybody in the zone to cover him. He's standing back there running a delay pattern. Now, there's one man you don't want loose in your secondary. That's number 27. There isn't anybody within 5 yards or 10 yards when he catches the ball. Gill had enough time to wait for him. They pick up a big first down and keep their drive alive.
Real big first down. 3rd down play, and it's now 1st down Huskers. They trail 17-7. Turner Gill stands in, throws to the end zone. Todd Frayne dives at the ball but can't get there. Backup tight end from Trainer, Iowa, who's caught some touchdown balls. Very fast for a tight end.
Well, Todd Frayne made a commitment a little early. It's a very tough ball to catch. A ball that's coming right over your head. But when he turned around, he turned all the way around rather than continue running. If you see him here, he's already committed. He would have run right under the ball on the dead run, but he committed too quick.
4:29 to play in the first half. 4:29 to play. Nebraska trailing 17-7. Pitch back, Rozier. He's a dancer until he's one-on-one. Then Mike Rozier is a knockout puncher. He hits you, you don't hit him.
Well, it's wonderful when a back can get his shoulders straightened up. He's in a one-on-one situation. Take a look at the whole defense. They're a very pursuing defense, but they are cut off from the point of attack. Excellent block by the tight end. When the tight end gets that kind of a block, it keeps 2 people from getting into the pursuit. The running back can cut up and get some yards.
Good second look as we again go high above the Orange Bowl. Our producer tonight for NBC Sports, George Finkel. Our director, John Gonzalez. Our executive producer, Mike Weissman, is here, and he and his lovely Carol are celebrating a new 1984 son also. Adam, as are the Dennisons, the tight end who's caught 2 touchdown passes for the Miami Hurricanes, as Turner Gill comes over to coach Tom Osborne. Osborne, as you know, John, you played with him briefly with the 49ers. You played there a long time, and he was with the team briefly. A very enterprising coach. He'll do surprising things in big games, and we saw that with that Fumble-Rooski.
I think he's a very consistent coach. I think he sits and he plans and he makes a real study of coaching football. He's done
highs and the lows of coaching. Coached the Baltimore Colts. The owner came in the locker room one day and fired him.
Yeah, but to his credit, he was smart enough to walk away. I'll tell you what, he came back. He went back with the Dolphins and Don Shula, recouped, went back with the offense, got this job, and has really put something to work.
He's big in Miami. Pitch back. Here comes Rozier, heading down inside the 10-yard line. And listen to those Husker fans that are ripped. They're down in that corner end zone. Didn't put those Huskers on the 50-yard line, but they're down there making some noise.
They did give him a few seats. They gave him some seats down there where the Huskers are right now, about the 10-yard line. They've got Rozier coming right at you. I'd hate to be a defensive back, knowing I had to handle him all by myself.
Again, they go to Rozier, and this time a gambling play is close to a touchdown.
They run that so much. That's their bread and butter. They don't feel that it is a high-risk play. When you have athletes like Turner Gill and Mike Rozier, the coordination is so excellent. They feel, hey, somebody doesn't stop it, we'll just run it in every play.
That's a confident QB that pitches out on his way down, and it almost resulted in a touchdown. Rod Bellinger saved it.
Also a good one.
A real good one. Now Coach Osborne's team ready to get right back in it. They're down 17-7. 2nd and goal. Penalty markers down. You see the yellow flag down at the line. 3:03 to play in the first half. At the end of the first quarter, it was Miami 17, favored Nebraska nothing. But now the Huskers are rolling, pounding back with that big front line into the game.
Well, you know, that's not really a very important penalty, but when you're sitting down on all fours in a defensive situation, number 62, Tony Fitzpatrick, they may have ruled that he jumped just a little too quick. He's trying to get off on the ball, trying to create some sort of a big play. I think the chance is worth the risk.
Big number from the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, where Michigan leads third-rated Auburn 7-0. That came now in the third quarter. And that is the scoreboard numbers here at the Orange Bowl on the golden anniversary night.
29 TDs for a season for Rozier. I get the feeling he may get one more right here.
He's the eye back, the deep back. Free ball. That looked like Gill held it himself.
He did.
That was a 2nd and goal from just over a yard out.
Okay, good shot at it. We see that the defense beat the offense on their own snap count. It's the only way you can keep a quarterback from getting in.
All season long, Miami's been so tough against the run. They've allowed less than 3 yards a rush to the opposition, and have allowed only 9.6 points a game to the opposition. Over the top, Turner Gill is in for a Cornhusker touchdown. And the Big Red from Lincoln now trails 17-13.
Well, they've done one fine job since that interception of getting back in this ball game. Not trying to do it all at once, Don, but methodically going back to what brought them here. Turner Gill, Mike Rozier, a steady defense. Remember, 84 touchdowns throughout a season of play. They've got a lot of time and a lot of weapons, and they're back in it with more than a half to play.
Starting to show that array of weapons as now the extra point by Livingston is up and good, and with 2:17 left to play in the first half, the Cornhuskers down 17-0 at the end of the first quarter are right back in it, trailing 17-14 as Turner Gill takes it in for the second Nebraska touchdown. The first, you'll recall, was a surprise score by guard Dean Steinkühler. Another day at the office for Coach Osborne.
Yeah, I guess so. Again, really. That's on the outside.
Bernie Kosar with his quarterback coach Mark Tressman. 178 yards throwing in the first half.
And that stat is a little bit misleading, because those throws were for a lot of yardage, 178 yards in length, and that's a good stat. That's a good half by any standards.
We noticed this half that Miami didn't like to kick off. Nebraska had the ball enough, they felt, in the second quarter. Miami's plan was to give it to Nebraska at the outset, though, and they did. Stopped the Huskers their first drive. Actually a blocked field goal, and then Miami went right down and scored. Coach Schnellenberger wants an explanation. Coaches always do, and they always lose.
Well, I tell you, they don't always lose, because they do get the attention of those officials, and somehow I think people who do kind of raise their voice on occasion when the ball goes against you get the best of it.
Hurricanes start off in the hole to start the third quarter. Kosar gives off to Keith Griffin. He fumbled the ball, and it is Nebraska's ball. A great run by Keith Griffin, but Dave Burke, even though he's wearing McCashlin's jersey, is the man who came up with a free ball. I wonder if the NCAA would look into that. I mean,
well, there's nothing in the rule book. We looked into it at halftime, Don, and we can't find anything that would preclude someone from doing this. We've been calling Burke McCashlin the whole first half and vice versa. So you people at home, I hope you understand. Anyway, that was Burke who made the play. And here is Keith Griffin, who is an excellent one, but the Cornhuskers have the ball, and that's Rozier.
Boy, he takes a pop from Reggie Sutton. The Huskers go to the run, capitalizing on an early turnover here in the third quarter. Nebraska with a chance to take the lead if they can take it in. There is Dave Burke in the jersey of friend Mike McCashlin.
They changed helmet numbers too. I'm sure they didn't change helmets.
Maybe they changed identities. He's going to go the rest of his life being Randy Mike McCashlin. Second down and 10.
Reverse. Nope.
Faked Irving. Fryer, a big play. Look at the break up there down at the 11-yard line. We had two guys go to the moon for the ball. Rob Bellinger's only 5'9". Kimball 6 feet. But they were both way over the rim.
When you take a look at the people who have made the outstanding plays for the Hurricanes, in the first half it was Rodney Bellinger. He made 4 big plays. He starts off the second half doing the same thing. Being one-on-one with Irving Fryar is no picnic. But he can handle it. Here you go. Got a piece of his arm and kept him from coming down with it.
Third down now. Nebraska needing a big play after getting the turnover. Swing pass. It goes out to Shalene. Open field tackle, but the cut down is made short of a first down, so it brings up 4th down. And Nebraska, well, we'll see if they send out their field goal unit.
I think they're going to. You know, a lot of times you go for it on 4th, but there's 4 yards to go, and they have not been effective when Miami has given up to stop the run. And, well, they're going to have a go at a field goal and a tie.
It's a whole lot better than being behind 17-0, like Nebraska was at the end of the first quarter.
The last one didn't get airborne.
That's right. And that's the reason they only tried 4 coming into this game all season. This one did. Right on range, and up and through it goes, and all of a sudden Nebraska comes out quickly, capitalizes on a fumble by Miami, and a field goal by Livingston ties the game at 17. So the Huskers will kick it off again in a moment when we return to the Orange Bowl. Right now under Coach Osborne, it's Nebraska 17 and Miami 17. And even though the third quarter's only less than 2 minutes old, Livingston's ready to kick off for a second time. A high spinning kick. Albert Bentley running it back. Albert is a tough hombre, and he comes across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A city of light, Miami, Florida, on the golden anniversary night of the Orange Bowl. Right now, the home team, Miami, which really had this place rocking with its first quarter onslaught, is in a tie game, and Miami goes to the run on first down out to the 28-yard line. Reggie Sutton was shaken up a bit earlier. He's a gamer, though. He'll be back.
Well, they need him badly, and we mentioned that there is a possibility that defense could get a little tired. They can't afford an injury to a man as key as Sutton. We see Howard and Mark Trestman, the offensive receiver coach, down there discussing how they're going to get something on the board.
Second down and 8. Kosar will be firing.
He's got him.
Got a man open, Eddie Brown. What a great catch out to the 47-yard line. Kosar throwing strikes again now. The 20-yard pitch, and Eddie Brown, who you'll remember lost one late in the first half right there. This time make sure.
Well, those are such difficult catches because you're making it in between 2 defenders. And take a look at it. Here comes Kosar. He throws, gets a little nudge. But when you're Eddie Brown, he knows he's going to get hit as soon as he catches the ball. We see Doug Burke hit him before he can get his feet on the ground. That's a tough way to hit.
Reggie Sutton with a bruised shoulder. Defensive player for Miami right now. Hurricane offense. First and 10 at their 47. Albert Bentley on a draw. Albert Bentley hit once and twice and 3 times, and he keeps on going ahead for an 8-yard gain.
This is the kind of play that they need more of. This rests the defense. It keeps their drive alive. And you take a kid like Bentley and also Griffin. These guys are hard running backs. Now you can see they expect the Canes to throw. They're getting a 6-man pass rush. Mike Knox gets shielded off the play. Bentley's not going down until he picks up 8.
Second down and 2 comes up for Miami. And the Hurricanes pick up the blitz. Kosar lofts it out there and has his man Albert Bentley. Bentley's one of the spiritual leaders of this team. They love him. He was a walk-on, rode his bike to practice one day and asked for a tryout from Coach Schnellenberger. Couldn't catch the ball at all his first 2 years. Now he's an excellent pass catcher. He's made himself one. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Don Criqui with John Brody. Orange Bowl 84, Miami, and Nebraska tied 17-17 early in the third quarter. Miami driving. They've not scored since the first quarter. Back to the run. They rip it open. Alonzo Highsmith, the 230-pound freshman from Miami. Rips ahead for yet another Hurricane first down.
Take a look at Highsmith and what he sees. Once you get that ball and get those linemen spread out a little bit, real good blocking from Bentley. His fullback allows him to get through the point of attack. When he does so, he picks up the first.
14-yard gain as Turner Gill waits passively on the bench.
This is what they need to do, Don. Miami has to keep the ball in their possession for some period of time to let their defense rest.
Right now, the Hurricanes moving it through the Nebraska defense as they did in the first quarter. First and 10 to the run. The running. Look at this man bumped with the football. Alonzo Highsmith, the defensive player of the year in Florida last year, is a defensive player here at Columbus High School in Miami. Same high school that Don Shula's son quarterback last year, and they almost won the state championship, or 2 years ago. And right now, John, the big guy on the sideline, says, keep it coming, and he sends a play in, and it looks like Kosar's looking to the end zone. Out flat pass he goes to Alonzo Highsmith. He's going to keep going to number 30 as long as it keeps working.
He did not throw to his backs much in the first half. He threw down the field 3 times to Shakespeare, a couple times to Eddie Brown, but his backs are renowned for their ability to catch passes coming out of the backfield. They're man-to-man on the linebackers. Kosar hits him right on the break. Nice to have backs that can both run the football and catch it, and he's got 3 in Highsmith, Griffin, and Bentley.
You're in the backfield with NBC's remote goalpost camera looking on as Kosar now has been leading the Miami Hurricanes on a third quarter drive. You see his passing numbers. The all-time record for passes in an Orange Bowl was set by Namath in that 65 game. He threw 37 times. Kosar's probably going to go over 40 tonight. 9:55 to play, third quarter. Tie game. First down. End zone, man's open, and Shakespeare has the ball tipped away by Dave Burke.
And a flag is thrown, Don. That is in the critical area. Generally, it's offensive pass holding, but we'll wait and see.
Hurricanes down close. They started first and goal from the 9-yard line of Nebraska. And this new set of downs after the throw to Highsmith.
That was strict. That was just simply a motion penalty, and they refused it. I'm sure they would have taken a 10-yarder.
Fast Eddie Brown, number 40 at the top of your screen on the left flank. Shakespeare off to the right. Tight end Dennison. He's always a man they like to go to down close. Here's a throw. Penalty marker in the end zone against Nebraska. Coach Osborne says no, but the official says yes. It'll be first and goal down at the 1. Dave Burke called for the foul.
Well, at least we think it's Dave Burke. We haven't been able to see the look on his face. It's either he or McCashlin. We mentioned before they had switched jerseys. He tries to make the only play he can. He's got no help from inside by a linebacker. A close call. I couldn't tell from that view whether or not he actually made contact before the ball hit. A very, very close call.
Coach Osborne thought his guy was right there, but it's a first and goal again now for Miami. 1-yard line. Remember in the first quarter, the first touchdown on a similar play was a quick throw to the tight end Dennison, and Bernie Kosar, not wanting to miss a golden opportunity, calls a timeout. So this under control freshman comes over to talk to his coaching trust, and we'll be back to the Orange Bowl right after this. Back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Miami Hurricanes first and goal at the 1-yard line of Nebraska in a tie game. 9:40 left to play. Miami, after leading 17-0 at the end of the first quarter, now finds itself locked up with favored Nebraska 17-0 at Miami. Point blank range. First and goal from the 1 after a pass interference call. Over the top. Alonzo Highsmith. guy can play football.
I don't think there was much doubt of it. However, when a man's a freshman, you don't usually give him a chance to prove it. Now, Miami's in a situation where they have so many outstanding freshmen, and Schnellenberger's done such a fine job of recruiting that he's using a few of them today. And that one just got the job done.
We're going to watch that again in a moment. That mounted remote camera. Right now, we're looking from the remote camera at the far end of the field. And here is Jeff Davis ready to try the point after, which he hits up and gets that carom shot. It's all right if it counts, and it does, so it's all working right. When they talk about the two things you can't coach, speed and luck.
And take a look from the back. You can see there's no one to meet him when he goes up, so he goes over.
Alonzo Highsmith into the air and into the end zone, and Miami has a 24-17 lead. Back at the Orange Bowl, the news has just come in from the Sugar Bowl that third-ranked Auburn has defeated Michigan, but barely 9-7. So I think, John, we can safely say if Miami wins, they've got a better than good shot of going to the top.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. That's a very conservative estimate. And if they do win, they deserve to be on top.
But to beat Nebraska, you've got to go to the final gun, and the Huskers really rip it open in the second half. Here's a home run ball. Eddie Brown is out there. He thought he was tripped, and the official now comes in with a late flag and says he was.
He had to make a decision as to whether he could catch the ball or not. It was definitely some sort of contact made about 20 yards down the field. It was a very late pattern. He was definitely beaten. Had he not touched him, and you'll see Eddie Brown going down, not quite able to get the ball. You'll see Burke standing around trying to get off the ground. He had taken a shot at Eddie and actually hit him. I think it's a good call.
Steve Dans, our NBC statistician, shows that Kosar's thrown the ball a lot, and he distributes it. Brown's caught 3, Dennison's caught 3, Shakespeare's caught 3, Albert Bentley's caught 3. This time they're going to run it. Albert Bentley gets the call. He's a tackle breaking runner on 1st and 10. He gets across the 45-yard line of the Huskers and down to Nebraska's 42.
There have been several impressive Hurricanes tonight, Don, but I think number 16 stands right out amongst them. He's a big back, weighing 225 pounds. He's 6'3". He blocks well for Kosar for the pass, and is an excellent receiver.
Boy, does he block. He hits that blitzer and makes him wish that he was back in Lincoln. It's another one. Here's a throw to Keith Griffin. And he's inside the 20 and down to the 17-yard line. Bentley just kills guys on the pass block.
Yes, he does. But you know what? It's really heads-up play by Bernie Kosar. This is the man he's supposed to be keying. He was wearing number 2. But here's McCasland coming after Kosar. He sees him quickly. Bentley handles him, but he rolls to the right to make it a very easy block for Bentley. When he does so, he knows it's a blitz. He's got a one-on-one situation, finds a way to get the ball to Griffin. He picks up a long gainer and a first down. What was it that Schnellenberger said about Griffin? If he'd been playing at Nebraska, maybe he'd be a Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, his brother Archie was twice at Ohio State. Archie's here for the game. Gave the invocation before it. Here's Keith Griffin again. Somebody lost a hat, but Keith Griffin keeps on going inside the 15-yard line. Wade Priner, number 85 in the game, makes the stop for the Huskers.
Tom Osborne has reason to concern himself right now because he's getting beaten at the line of scrimmage. The offensive line for the Hurricanes are taking it to the Cornhuskers, and those two backs are running the ball.
They are running it with gusto at a big Nebraska defense. Now it's 2nd down and 6 for Miami. Play whistle dead.
Too much time.
Yep.
And you know, it's funny, Mark Trestman said what we do is he is so bright, I only have to give him a very short signal before he picks it up and can relay the play. So we very seldom get caught for that, and too much time has been the result of the defense of Nebraska most of the time tonight.
You know, John, I thought you made an interesting observation. At halftime, we were talking among ourselves. You said that Kosar has fun playing football. And I think that's illustrated by his attitude towards the game. He said he wants to be a student first and foremost. He plans to be a lawyer. If he never plays after college, it wouldn't break his heart. He'd like to. But he always played football for fun. If it ever stops being, he didn't want to play the game anymore.
Doesn't look like it's ever going to stop being either.
He's having fun right now. But here's a 2nd and 10 play. They go to the draw. Keith Griffin working hard, puts 2 arms on the ball as those Nebraska Huskers, led by Mike Knox, the big inside linebacker, trying to strip it from him. You remember they did early in the 3rd quarter.
That's right.
Couldn't score points. Or did score points, scored the tying field goal.
That's right.
And Miami came back and went with the head with a go-ahead touchdown.
It's a critical time now. Jeff Davis is the man that got him into this bowl with a last-second field goal against Florida State. To me, I don't think you'll see them throw a high-risk pass right now. They'll give Jeff a chance to kick a field goal if they can't find a back.
End zone look at Kosar. A strike. Eddie Brown dives down to the 7-yard line. It looks like he might have enough for a first down. A 3rd and 10 play, and it appears that Miami got there.
We talked about earlier their offensive line and backs didn't make a miscue for 5 games mentally. Look at it now. You think Bentley isn't geared into McCaslin? It doesn't matter what jersey number he's wearing. He better change again.
Eddie Brown makes the catch, but again Bentley picks up the blitz to give Kosar time to deliver. And now the ball's down. 1st and goal from the Nebraska 7-yard line. 5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Clock running. Miami in white. Almost a 2-touchdown underdog coming in, leading Nebraska 24-17 with the national championship of college football on the line of this game. Bentley.
This is number 16 has been so instrumental on the key plays. Some of them have gone unnoticed. Obviously, touchdowns do not.
At the moment, they're letting the good times roll in Miami as Albert Bentley is on the payoff end of that touchdown run. And Miami opens up a 30-17 lead.
How sweet it is, eh?
For the moment. Nebraska's come back earlier, and Jeff Davis is right there with the extra point. Now the pressure is really on the Cornhuskers. But there is a lot of time to go.
That offensive line is doing a job.
Back to the Orange Bowl right after this.
You're watching the battle for the national championship as #1 Nebraska takes on Miami in the 1984 Orange Bowl on ESPN Classic.
Nebraska failed on a 47-yard field goal attempt on its next possession, and Miami continued to lead 31-17. But the Huskers got the ball back with tough defense, and they're still in control as we return to the 1984 Orange Bowl right here on ESPN Classic.
2nd down and about a foot now for Nebraska. Irving Fryer comes out in the right flank. He's not been hit deep yet. They're going to try it pretty soon, though.
But he's been hit a lot.
Oh, yeah. They're looking at deep now. Gill throws. They get the first down as they go to tight end Matti Ingebrigtsen. Taping up Mike Rozier again.
They're putting the try in anyway. You'd like to be able to go to your Heisman Trophy winner if when the game gets late and you're 2 touchdowns back. He could insert some sort of adrenaline, but I don't think it's their problem right now. Both of the backs that have replaced him, Jeff Smith and Paul Miles, they both run very well. It's at the line of scrimmage.
Miami is tough. End around. Recovers, but Ricky Simmons, who took it on an end around, lost the ball in the big 300-pound tackle. Mark Benning from Denton, Texas, fell on it, but there's a loss on the play for the Huskers. And the clock runs down to 11 minutes to play.
Seems to be the way it's gone all night long. Just when something looks like it'll break, we flub a handoff. If we make a big run, somebody causes us to fumble. It hasn't gone their way, and a lot of that is because the Miami Hurricanes have played very opportunistic, aggressive defense.
Ricky Simmons goes to the sidelines. Miami was so prepared coming in. Rod Bellinger's taken some licks. Boy, he's passed some out. Right now he's helped off again. Lucius Delagal goes in to replace him, number 47. The freshman Reggie Sutton is up against Irving Fryer on the right flank. Over the middle they go. Todd Frame catches the ball. It's a Nebraska first down out to the 49-yard line. A 15-yard gain on the play.
They've done very well at using very few seconds on the clock, moving the ball some 35 to 40 yards down the field in some minute or less than a minute. The receivers have been able to get out of bounds after they've caught the ball. But remember, when Nebraska gets behind, they don't have a lot of drop back passes. They have that play action stuff that isn't really too effective when it's 2nd and 9, 3rd and 10, and everybody knows you're going to throw.
They go to the run. They go to the quick hitter to the fullback Shalane. Mark Shalane gets across midfield down to the 47-yard line. On a first down carry, got about 3. Jay Brophy made the tackle for Miami.
Well, you can't say enough for the defensive play of Jay Brophy, Tony Fitzpatrick, Fagan, you name it. All those fellas are standing people up at the line of scrimmage, and that's a great football team they're playing.
Good fake by Gill. Looks long. Guns it. The pass is complete downfield to the 36-yard line. Scott Kimball coming back at the ball.
Very well thrown ball and a well-run pattern.
Good for 12 yards and a first down for the Huskers.
Don, I don't think they have enough time to be fiddling around running into the line right now. I know that's their pattern, and they've always done so, and that's part of the reason I think they get in trouble when they get too far behind. Of course, they haven't done it all year long.
Yeah, the catch-up offense has not been part of their repertoire.
That's right. They don't. I bet they don't practice it much.
But they have been in 2 tight games that have gone down to the final play in the end zone. The Oklahoma State game, they won 14-10, did Nebraska, and after that one time Osborne said at least they can't accuse us of running up the score in this one. And a couple of pass breakups against the Sooners of Oklahoma by cornerback Neil Harris saved that game. 28-21, Nebraska won. Jeff Smith breaks it open, and Jeff Smith rockets down to the 22-yard line. It is a first down and a 15-yard gain.
So much from my viewpoint. I start talking about how they have to throw it. Okay, take a look. Dean Steinkiller, Raridan, the 2 real big, all Big 8, all-American, all-everything linemen come out and do a fine job. Give their running back a chance to run. Jeff Smith's doing the job when called upon.
Miami doesn't shy away from big teams. Notre Dame came in with a front line as big as Nebraska's, and Miami shut out the Fighting Irish here in the Orange Bowl 20-0 this year. 1st and 10, run takes it down to the 20-yard line. You were talking, John, about the enthusiasm, really the emotion of this whole metropolitan area rides with the Hurricanes tonight. Miami football's been down until the Howard Schnellenberger era. He's brought it back, and tonight it could hit the pinnacle.
Yes, and so many people have talked. You know, when you take a look, here's a defense that's, led the nation in so many categories, and yet they were given very little chance against what some people think is the best team that's ever played. So
Gill calls his own number. Quarterback draw. 3 steps back, and the quick shoot up the middle. He's down inside the 15-yard line. Coach Osborne sends in the plays. Got to be taking a look at that clock, which now is down to 8:35 and running.
They've used it very, very well. Remember, when a team picks up a first down, it automatically stops the clock until the chains are moved. So you can pick up some time that way. There's loads of time.
3rd and 2. Fumble. Tough to call signals. Very intense crowd. Looks like Turner Gill might have fallen on it, John, and if he did, he could have been enough for a first down. We'll see where they spot the ball.
He's got it, and it looks to be a first down.
Dr. Tom Osborne.
Well, I know this, that if they don't give it to him, I'd have it checked, because it looks like it's close enough. It doesn't look like it is one, but it's within 6 or 8 inches.
Fourth down. Heisman Trophy winner Mike Rozier is out with an injured ankle. Nebraska without its best weapon. The pitch back to Jeff Smith. He turns the corner. He's got the first down. A from behind tackle drives him down to the 5-yard line of Miami. And now Nebraska goes first and goal from the Hurricane 5. 7:34 to play.
Tell you what, Dean Steinkuhler, you sit there and so many times people will say, well, why do we always feature him? He features him the whole scene. They run behind him a lot. He's a great blocker. He pulls very well, and he makes contact at the point of attack. In a critical situation, he picks up a big first down, or he's responsible for it.
It was a freshman, 255-pound Jerome Brown, 98, who made the knockdown. And now Miami player is intended to. Looks like it could be a heat cramp. We'll be back to the Orange Bowl right after this. Don Criqui with John Brody back at the Orange Bowl. This is what the two teams are playing for. It's nice, but the national championship, which is also on the line, is priceless. Right now, with 7:33 to play. Miami has the lead, but Nebraska's challenging. Miami leading 31-17. Turner Gill turns up, turns in, gets down to the 1. 7:15 to play, the clock running. Nebraska, after scoring early in the third quarter after fumbling Miami, recovering a Miami fumble to tie the game, has not scored since. As you see, the Hurricane defense holding Nebraska to 35 points below its season average. Huskers come in scoring like a basketball team. 52 points a game. Over the top. Jeff Smith is in for a touchdown. 6:55 to play, and the Huskers are right back in it.
I don't think there's much doubt they'll go for the one-pointer here. Some people say, hey, wait a minute. What do we do? Do we go for the two-pointer or the one-pointer? I think psychologically it would be a defeat if you go for a two-pointer and don't make it. You see, they're starting to move off at the line, at the point of attack. Their offensive line actually had all the action on the other side of the goal line. I think it would be a downer if they went for two and didn't make it right here. Whereas if they kick the point, they stay within 7 and a chance to make 2 later. And without Mike Rozier.
So Johnny Rogers on the sideline. They were asking, where is he? He's right here. There is no overtime, as you know, in college football. The extra point by Livingston is up and good, and it's now a 31-24 game. Nebraska will kick off with 6:55 to play. 31-24 Miami with a 7-point lead now as Nebraska puts up its first touchdown of the second half on an over-the-top dive by tailback Jeff Smith. Great ball game on the golden anniversary of the Orange Bowl. Don Criqui with John Brody. John, an interesting dilemma now facing Nebraska. If they should tie this game, would they get the next touchdown? Would they go for the tie and maybe get the national championship? They could conclude unbeaten.
I think they definitely would if they did it soon enough. But I think if it happened late in the ball game, they'd go for the win. And I think we'd have a chance to see whether Tom Osborne thought it was better to win the national championship or to win the Orange Bowl. I know it would be a very unpopular decision if it happened late and they didn't take a shot to win it, but those are coaching decisions. I can remember a game several years ago where there was a 10-10 tie between a couple of nationally ranked teams, and it didn't settle well with the fans at all in Notre Dame, did it?
People forget, though, Michigan State punted after Notre Dame did.
Yeah, that man seemed to survive quite well.
A high spinning kick down to Keith Griffin. He's got a problem. Look at those Huskers come down. Boy, these guys are playing like champions now. 6:49 to play. Miami has the ball. John, of course, a moment ago referring to the 1966 game between the two unbeatens, Notre Dame and Michigan State. Ended in a 10-10 tie, and the Irish won the national championship.
And it was for the same reason that they went for the tie. So, you know, if people make such a large issue of who wins the national championship, and people have done so, which is most important?
It's a pretty large issue, Broads.
That's right.
The whole state of Nebraska rallies around the Big Red, and right now they're putting the heat on. Kosar hit from behind, but he gets it to Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown's got some moves he hadn't used yet.
Hey, I think, you know what I think? I think Bernie Kosar would like to have access to what this camera does. He'd like to see number 87 coming around. That's right. You know, Bill Weber hitting him in the back just as he lets go of the ball. It'd be a whole lot easier to play that position if you could.
That was the NBC remote camera up on the goalpost. Eddie Brown with his 5th reception. He got Miami out of jail for the moment. It's 2nd down and 4 right now. Miami leading 31-24 with 6:41 to play. Keith Griffin puts his head down and big Rob Stuckey knocks him down. It's 61 degrees in Miami.
A lot warmer on the field underneath those shoulder pads and helmets.
Light it up, signaling the new year.
That's a little mock-up of a man that's injured. I guess all's fair and whatever, not by me. Let's see what Bernie Kosar does here. I think there's a good chance you'll see him throw a pass in the 3rd and 2 right here. Little short one.
Nebraska blitzing. Bernie throws. He's got Keith Griffin. He's got a 1st down. McCashlin and Brett Clark knocked him down, but the money throw from freshman Bernie Kosar to senior Keith Griffin gets a 1st down for Miami, and you see the clock 5:51 to play.
I tell you, he had Keith Griffin so far open, he threw that thing like a shot put. That baby was not going to get anywhere but to old Keith. Good play at a critical time. Good call.
Old Keith is all business too, isn't he, when he gets it? To that earlier fumble, he's made some big plays all night long for Miami. Got away from the Buckeyes, did Keith Griffin. Left Columbus to come to Miami. 1st and 10, Hurricanes. Keith Griffin, he's popped by Mike Knox, that tough inside linebacker who broke 5 helmets already this season.
How'd he break them? While they were on his head, or?
Yes, he did. He didn't drop them after practice.
All right, Mike Knox, outstanding linebacker.
So he broke them.
Gets in good position.
6'3", 235, Mike Knox from Castle Rock, Colorado. Butkus type. See, they don't like to be around him in practice. He didn't know when it's the real thing or not. He knows, but he likes to go full speed all times. Knox, 2nd down and 9 now, Miami. Hurricanes lead by 7. 4:40 to play. In the flat, it goes to Eddie Brown, and he dives ahead. Breaks it open. Look at this play. Just fabulous athletic ability. 41 yards.
There are a lot of people with great athletic ability, Don, but there aren't many people that continually come up with the needed play at the needed time. Kosar's one, and number 40, Eddie Brown. He's the fellow that got them back in the ball game against Florida State, gave them a chance to kick a field goal late, win the ball game. Beautiful play, breaking those 2 tackles.
Boy, it was a tremendous play. 31-24, Miami in white with the lead. Kosar has set an Orange Bowl record for passing yardage, 300 yards for the freshman. Live action, Albert Bentley. He's been quiet for a while, but not now.
Oh! That was a touchdown. If he keeps his feet, he made so many good moves to get in the open. It was very difficult to keep his balance, but what a great play. There's another man, number 16. Their offensive personnel has really outplayed Nebraska's tonight. Number 20, 16, 44, 40, you name them. Number 6, Stanley Shakespeare, early in the ball game. All of their what you call skilled positions have had great nights.
Albert Bentley with the big run, as you pointed out, John. He was gone, and to be able to hold his footing, he did get up 1st down. If this holds up, there's going to be some party in Miami.
Well, you know, it's funny. No matter how much you hear,
will be up late.
no matter how much you hear and how much enthusiasm the city of Miami had, all the smart people said, hey, yeah, but they're playing against Nebraska. Now, who did they beat? They beat some good teams. I'll tell you, East Carolina and Florida State at the end of the year were playing exceptional football. Anybody that saw them play in a bowl game knows. And these guys have come to play.
Blitz. Again, they pick it up. Keith Griffin. Going to the draw play. And Keith Griffin is ahead on a 1st down carry down to the
sign when you're blitzing against a draw play. You should stop it for a loss. But if just a small crack opens and the offensive linemen use good technique, they can break something for the back, and he can pick up good yardage. That's what happened. Kosar read the blitz, gave the linemen a chance to see their blocks, and look at the crack they created. Beautiful play. Bentley, number 16, was in there at the point of attack.
Juan Comandiero, the Cuban-born guard, had the big seal block to open the draw. At second down and a long 4, Keith Griffin runs, and the Cornhuskers, Rob Stuckey, rides him down. But importantly now, the clock continues to tick. Working against the top-ranked and unbeaten Cornhuskers, who at the moment trail Miami 31-24.
And if they get one more timeout, it's going to force Nebraska to take their timeouts before they get possession of the ball. This is a very big play. Now, if they can move the ball about 3 yards, they'll be able to kick a 40-yard field goal, and this ball game would be history. So I expect them to probably either throw a short out or try to run the ball about 3 yards.
Let's see. It's third down and a long 3. Keith Griffin, nothing there, and the Cornhuskers shut it down. It brings up fourth down. And the game clock continues to tick. 1:53, 52. Now they stop it. One of Coach Schnellenberger's sons. Another one's on the team. Stu Schnellenberger, an important part of it. 1:53 to go in Miami's quest for a national championship. Not New Year's night in Miami, but the celebration's bigger than any New Year's, as right now the Hurricanes, an underdog, are leading top-ranked and unbeaten Nebraska 31-24. Bernie Kosar's right arm has been a key. The freshman from Boardman, Ohio. And another very, very difficult factor that's mitigated against the Cornhuskers is the injury to their great runner, Mike Rozier, the Heisman Trophy winner, out with an injured ankle. Went out in the second half. Fourth down now. Here's the field goal attempt. Jeff Smith drills it. Didn't get there. Nebraska will get the ball with 1:47 to play. John, we're going down to the final gun, it looks like, in this one.
And you can see some coaches are very quiet and passive. Others get their group ready. And this man has been an inspirational force for this group all year long. He's not about to take a back seat right now. 1 minute and 47 seconds between the Miami Hurricanes and a national championship.
Wide left, and it's no good. And so the Cornhuskers get back the ball with 1:47 to go. And the unbeaten Nebraska team trailing by 7. Irving Fryer. Rod Bellinger saved a touchdown. Finally, Fryer, who's been dormant, explodes for 29 yards, very nearly exploding for the distance.
What a beautiful throw.
Oh.
Now that was a play in which he only took 3 steps back. It's the first pass in this half on first down. And that is a very effective decision itself.
29 yards at used 6 seconds. It's covering some ground.
A lot of timeouts left, a lot of time. There's no hurry either way, but I think this man has left it all out there. Rodney Bellinger, number 4, has done a phenomenal job on Irving Fryer. Played him one-on-one throughout most of the evening, stopped a lot in sweeps. Let's take a look here. Just a little 3-step drop. He catches Fryer in between the zone, and we're back on the field.
Live action, 1st and 10. Gill gets it away on the run. Shane Swanson goes up in the air, but came down empty. Overthrow. It's Lee, 2nd down and 10. And the game clock shows 1:28 to play.
Jack Fernandez made another good play, forcing Turner Gill to throw the ball a little before he wanted.
Nebraska, unbeaten, the dominant team in college football this year with a 52-point-a-game scoring average, trying to come back without the Heisman Trophy winner, Mike Rozier, sidelined with an injured ankle. That's the amount of time remaining in the game. Here's a throw, and down with the ball is Ricky Simmons. It's That's a good catch, and the Huskers have it down to the 26-yard line of Miami. A 19-yard gain.
Beautiful pattern. That was perfectly timed and a beautiful pattern. They can throw that ball from a drop back, and people have talked about for what Nebraska does. Turner Gill is a great quarterback. I think he could be an exceptional T-formation pro style quarterback. It's just that he can adapt to any style.
Ricky Simmons way wide now, and here's a give up the middle, and this time the Hurricanes defense is there to shut down Jeff Smith as the clock runs. 1:13 to go. And now Nebraska signals for and is allotted a timeout. And then, of course, theoretically looking at a possible Nebraska score, John, if they go in, they have the option of going for the win with a 2-point conversion. The much higher percentage kicked extra point would mean a tie game. They'd still finish the season unbeaten. And would they be crowned now? In all the probability they would be. But we don't know. We don't vote.
You know, that's a decision for Tom Osborne to make. It's obvious if he goes for a 2-pointer, the only way he can come out on top is go for a 2-pointer and make it, because then there can't be any second guessing. A 2-pointer and miss, they say, hey, why don't you go for the national championship? A 1-pointer and tie, why don't you go for the win? So he's in a no-win situation if they pick up the next 25 yards. But hey, that's no gimme. They're playing against the toughest team in the country in the last quarter of football. This group's only given up 10 points all year long.
Tom Osborne, a doctor of educational psychology, PhD. He can stay under control, and so can Coach Schnellenberger. 2nd down and 8. 1:12 to play. Turner Gill with his 28th pass. Irving Fryer, he dropped the ball. The best receiver in the country, but even the great ones have a lapse. And Fryer's came at a most inopportune time.
Irving Fryer has not been a big factor tonight. He's got a chance, as the great ones always do, to make the catch to put them back in the ball game, and he dropped the gimme.
Free ball. Steinkohler picks it up. We'll see if it's a fumble. Well, they're ruling his arm was in motion, were they not, John?
Well, it's pretty tough to tell.
A play they'll never forget if Nebraska doesn't go in.
Now, I don't know if this man has ever dropped a ball. They've never been in this kind of situation before, but to be regarded as one of the top 5 players in college football, you couldn't have ever dropped a ball in a situation like that. And I don't think there's any more to say, because nobody could feel worse. He's just hoping to get another chance.
That's it. And now it could be his very last one, because the Cornhuskers have 4th down coming up. 4th down and 8. The ball at the 24-yard line of Miami. One last look. The earlier play, Irving Fryer with the goal line sprint. A perfectly thrown ball from Gill, but it's dropped. He split the defenders and was wide open, was Irving Fryer. Then in his heartbreak, he collapses to the ground. And now 4th down is coming up for Nebraska. The Cornhuskers with the longest winning streak in major college football. They've won 22 straight games. 12-0 this season. Ranked number 1 all year. But they're down by 7. Look at this play, Jeff Smith. Touchdown, Nebraska! The Cornhuskers somehow find a way with Mike Rozier on the sideline, his backup. Jeff Smith takes the pitch back up. Brilliantly executed play by Turner Gill. 24 yards and a touchdown. Now it's a 31-30 game. And what does Nebraska do?
I have not seen the kicker come on the field, and I don't think he's coming on the field. And I think that they've got things going their way. Tom Osborne made this decision a long time ago. Don't think that this situation caught him by surprise. He's decided to go for 2 and take his shot at winning. I commend him for it.
This is for the national championship for Nebraska. Incomplete. Tell you this, Tom Osborne in Nebraska could have had the national championship in all probability with an extra point that would have tied it. They'd have still finished unbeaten. But courage was so evident there. The integrity of Nebraska football and that whole state was on the line. They gambled and lost, but they're certainly to be given great credit for trying.
And let's remember, this ball game is not over.
Right you are. 48 seconds left to play.
But this is the try. I think he made the right call. I just commend a guy that has the nerve to do that. He's willing to put it out there on the line. He called a good play. The ball was dropped. That's the way football goes. Miami's played a great football game. And if in 48 seconds they become the winner, they certainly deserve to be national champions.
The golden anniversary of the Orange Bowl turns out to be the greatest game of all.
And an onside kick, I don't think we have to make much discussion about. It will happen. Let's see how it comes out.
Coach Howard Schnellenberger. His heartbeat's got to be 180.
He knows this case is not closed. Mark Trestman is down there saying, look, coach, if we recover the ball, we do not have to run a play to run out the clock. They've got 2 timeouts. That won't be enough. We'll be able to end this thing and go in a winner. But they must get the onside kick. I thought they had some timeouts, and they don't.
What a football game. In the golden anniversary year, Steve Lynch, the Orange Bowl president, all the people on the Orange Bowl committee had hoped for a great game. There was speculation Miami would be blown out. Everybody here had faith in Tom Osborne. Showed his dignity and his courage, going for the win. The Huskers didn't get it, though, and now Miami has only to run out the clock.
And, you know, just like ball games go and certain people are kind of ordained to do certain things, the last play of the ball game, number 16, Albert Bentley, comes down with the onside kick. There have been a lot of great plays. I guess the last one's always the most important.
You know, when you're in this business, John, you always get asked what's the greatest game you ever were at or saw. This is it for me.
And this is about as fine a football game as ever been played, and happens to be for the national championship. That man has done it all.
Set it to music. This is hurricane warning, #1 in Miami.
They say the wind is picking up. I heard it just this morning. The flags are being raised because it's a full-blown hurricane warning. They're lining in formation, all shining orange and green, busting butt on their own turf. There's nothing they ain't seen. You just look out, Nebraska. Better hold on to your corn, because the hurricane is coming. It's looking like a storm. Block 'em. You can do it now. Knock 'em to the ground. Drag 'em to their end zone and kick their butts around. Hit 'em where the corn don't grow. Plant 'em in the ground. Make sure they hear the warning that the hurricane's in town.
Watch out for the hurricanes, they're stirring up the night. When you make a move, you better make it right. Watch out for the hurricanes, they're blowing up a storm.
So much for hurricane warning, and now the final 46 seconds of this game. Game that'll be replayed emotionally by these players and their fans throughout the years. A hallmark game in college football. A great demonstration of courage by Nebraska going for the win, and for Miami an absolutely miracle year. The dream season as they come back from a bad loss opening day to go to 11 straight wins, and in all probability, when the votes are in, a first ever national championship for the Hurricanes.
I like to say that the coaching staff, the players themselves, felt they were going to win tonight. They were not in awe of Nebraska. Now, many of the fans were, most of the writers were, and I think anybody who had seen Nebraska play was. But these guys did it because they knew they could.
school's out. This place up for grabs.